A motorcycle to me really is just pleasure and enjoyment. It's different when you're experiencing the world on a motorcycle compared to behind the steering wheel. To me, it's motorcycles 100%. I do not get that out of a four-wheel vehicle in any way possible. So you do have to kind of be a different breed, a different animal to enjoy something, you know, that most people probably shouldn't be riding and doing. My name is Matthias Beier, and today I'm riding the 1982 Honda CBX1000. I think motorcycle riding it's not the right thing for a lot of people. It's a dangerous activity. You're kind of braving the elements, whether it's hot, it's cold, it's rainy. You're one with the environment. So you kind of have to be a little bit of a different breed to really get the full enjoyment out of riding a motorcycle. One of my very first experiences on two wheels was going on dual sports rides on the gas tank with my father, and he would let me take control of the motorcycle at a really little age. And you know, at 5 years old, I would have these early memories of those kind of one with the road experiences, and it was really cool, really nice. So that was the beginning of it. But then there was a long break until maybe high school when I got my first motorcycle for myself. I sold my high school vehicle and got a Yamaha R1 of all things, and it was start of a new experience, a new life, and really took passion and grab a hold of that lifestyle and that culture, and it's really resonated within me. This motorcycle right here came into my possession through family, and my aunt, her husband passed away, and this was in his family for a long time. It's been sitting in his garage for almost 20, 25 years now, and he inherited it from his father. His father was the original owner. Everybody loved it, but it was a difficult sale, so I think he got a very good deal on the motorcycle and kept it in the family. He only rode it very little, a couple thousand miles only, before Tom, my uncle, inherited the motorcycle. When he inherited the motorcycle, he only put a few more thousand miles on the bike before he had severe health problems, and it kind of just started to sit around. The Honda CBX is definitely one of the more difficult motorcycles to work on, maintain. 6 carburetors for any average mechanic is a bit challenging, and also the design of this motorcycle makes it a little bit challenging just to operate, maintain, and work on. So I think it kind of relates to my uncle a bit too, because he was a very technical kind of guy. He was a software, information technology guy, so he was kind of a geek, really. And I think that the fact that this was the best you can get, the most complex motorcycle on the market, highest technology, that's exactly what my uncle liked about it. So he absolutely adored and loved this type of motorcycle. So currently, the bike has originally a little less than 5,000 miles, and it's in excellent condition. I feel like I've connected with Tom, my uncle, through ownership of this motorcycle and learning about the history of this bike. I feel more so than ever that I've connected with Tom now than I have in the past when he was alive. The 1978 naked version was a little bit more desirable, I'd say, for a lot of people, had a little bit more horsepower. And I think a lot of more custom guys like those ones because they wanna create it into a more custom design. Make it a little bit more personal, I'd say. I like to go that route too, but when I first got this motorcycle, you really have to just appreciate 1980s for this type of styling. It's so original that it would be a shame to chop up and do anything else to it. So you got to keep it, you know, in its all its glory, and just appreciate it is for what it was in 1980 about touring. You know, it's got the party in the front look, business in the rear with the suitcases. It's something you gotta really kind of be into to like 100%. The Honda CBX here is definitely something you have to kind of know to appreciate. I think the average person doesn't know what a CBX really is. But if you know what a CBX was back in 1982, this is, you know, the flagship motorcycle for Honda back then. And it's kind of like that futuristic motorcycle. It's got air suspension on there. It's got a full fairing design on it. It's comfortable for touring. It's a pretty high-tech motorcycle with a unique kind of character and a unique kind of look to it as well. It's definitely got some 80s colors in there. The big fairing over there is something I think you either like or you don't like. It was a little bit overwhelming at first. You grab the brakes at first and you expect them to stop. And it's more of a suggestion. They may stop, they may not. It doesn't work so well. It is what it is. You compare it to modern bikes and it's completely different. It's not even in the same ballpark in a lot of ways. I think the biggest thing to kind of get around this particular motorcycle compared to a lot of the ones I'm used to is that it's just big. It's over 500 pounds. The suspension is pretty small. I believe there are 39 millimeter fork tubes on there. It's pretty soft feeling. So I feel like if I was in 1982, I feel like this thing would be a rocket ship, but I feel like it would not handle, like where you would get into, you know, a situation where it might be difficult to control. The Honda has a way of making things feel very light. And this bike, once you get going above 20 miles an hour, it starts to become playful. It starts to become a little bit lighter weight. And the pull is very linear. It doesn't fall and then have a high spike at the end or anything. It's pretty smooth with a gradual pull at the very top end right there. And the cool thing about this, the 6-cylinder, is it redlines at about 9,500 RPMs. So when you think you're about at the top, you have probably a little bit more. The Honda way, historically, has always been pushing the envelope of performance, innovation, engineering, and also reliability. I feel like this bike wanted to run, even though it hasn't been ran in 25 years, that, you know, it just needed a little bit of help, and it's just the way Honda does it, that it's gonna last you a long time. It's trustworthy in a lot of sense. Motorcycles all have a soul, and they resonate, you know, and speak to each person individually in different ways. This motorcycle particularly has, I think, a little bit of Tom's spirit within him. I think he really helped nudge this thing back to life. It was pretty far gone when I got her, and she wanted to run and she wanted to go out and ride. I got it running on a few cylinders only before I had to call in some help to finish all 6 carburetors on it. But I feel like that was Tom, you know, 100%. You know, watching over me, guiding me, and helping me get this thing running because, you know, it didn't really seem possible. And yeah, I think he's there watching over me too.